Hello folks, you're probably wondering why I'm probably still wearing this flashlight. Well, it comes in handy always. So if I don't have that thing on and it becomes pitch black, around 5 or before 5, there's always something I got to do. Or even in the daytime, if I go in somewhere with shadows, it is. Or if you're working on something really fine and it's a bit shadowy, like in a car, no matter what, this has come in handy so often. It's not even funny. I just finished, it was probably about 3 hours. My friend Helena came over and her car got stuck. Because there's been quite a bit of snow and we didn't plow, so I didn't think we needed it, but I guess we did. And there's a bit of ice underneath from a week ago. So we worked at it and I poured salt down and we skidded around and we got frustrated and tried everything we could. So I called my neighbor John, last resort. I didn't want to bug him, but it was an option pretty well the only option I had, and bless his soul, came over right away, plowed the area, and even actually educated us a bit on how to drive Helena's van in a way where it would be less likely to make it slide out. It was really, really cool. It was really, really cool. So it was just nice all around. Helena was so sweet. She gave him some prints of paintings that she's done for his kids and stuff. So that was lovely too. So it was a stressful beginning. Also, it was pitch black, and that this thing came in very handy. But once I got over the embarrassment of calling my neighbor to ask if he'd come over and help, and then it was just that good energy neighborly thing, which we've been, there's not a lot of interaction nowadays, and it was just this feel good thing where John came over, didn't have to, plows us out, offers us some good conversation, and then Helena got to feel good by giving him a couple of her prints, and I got to feel good. I had already put it aside for him for Christmas, but I saved him a really nice bottle of scotch, 12-year-old, and turned out he said that it was his favorite scotch ever, so that was wonderful. And it was just overall, it was a feel good. It just reminded me of, I think, what Christmas and New Year's and all this stuff once was all about, was about good cheer and people helping each other and people watching each other's backs and standing beside their neighbors and all that good stuff, and just offering good. Well, what is Christmas cheer? It's not the booze, it's the cheer, it's the goodwill. And that's what we got, and that's what we gave. And you know what? It wasn't planned, and that's what was so wonderful about it. It was just good vibes. What else can I say? It's just something that right now we don't experience much, and it's being held back from us. And I'll tell you, I try my best to stay very neutral. As I've mentioned before, I don't go off at the mouth like before. I've just taken a very different approach to everything. And but what I am noticing, and this is people that I talk to, my friends are of every different background, every different belief, every different view. But what I'm noticing is that people aren't saying it. They don't want to say anything, and that's probably pretty smart. But I can tell by how they talk that they've had enough. They've had enough. No matter what their view is, they've had enough. And it looks like globally there's a lot of had's enoughs, and there's a little bit of tensions between countries and things too, which I hope doesn't go too far. So let's just all open our hearts and flood the damn planet with love. Like, can we melt this shit? Can we melt the fucking bullshit and get through this? I don't know what else to say, but that's a suggestion. This at least can't hurt. Even if you spread love to one person that didn't expect it, I think it's a good thing. Because I'll tell you, I just had a very good feeling out there with my neighbor and my further away friend neighbor in a situation that was very stressful at first, and then everyone got to do something wonderful and leave feeling good. You know, in a time where things are just kind of starchy and awkward and people aren't happy. A lot of suicides, a lot of mental illness creeping up. Definitely something that I think we all have to meditate on. You know, I don't have an answer, but something has to start happening. Something has to start happening towards some kind of positive change. And I'm going to just intend. I'm not going to say that everything's going to become beautiful and hunky-dory in this year, 2022, but I am going to intend that the tipping point is happening. That's I do feel it. I feel that it is, but it's a feeling. I also hope that my feeling is correct. It would be lovely. But that's my hunch, is that there's going to have to be some kind of continuing fallout. I mean, you can't just stop where we're at and everything's perfect. But I do think there's some kind of I'll call it an undertow, for lack of a better word. I do feel something is shifting, or if you want to say something is going to materialize, something is going to shift in some way, somehow. I hope globally, in a good way, and I'm going to just hold out for it. So if nothing else, I'm just going to intend that something's going to shift this year. I'm sick of just getting swamped with almost like a giving in kind of energy. I refuse to go there. You know, call me any name in the book, but I am not going to think negative. And something's going to shift. I can feel it. So, you know, it was a lovely getting getting stuck in the snow, or snuck in the stove. I don't know if you guys ever heard the Rindersella story. That's what it made me think of there. Not much of a drinker, but you know what? Maybe I could have a toast with you guys. A splash. Yeah, that's good enough. I just want a little taste. I got this Metaxa because it just, not that Raven drank Metaxa at all, her father did, but I don't know, it just, the bottle, the label, even the word, it has a comfortable feel. It takes me back to my life with Raven, so I have it on my table. I offer people little shots. As you can see, it's going down very slowly, but it looks nice on the table, and it's something I can offer people. Got some shortbread. I'm having a tea right now, actually. I got some pecans. One piece of fudge left from my sister Allison. And started working on one of these little artist mannequin things. Only I playing around with carving it, and I used my little, actually I just used a Dremel carver, but I don't have any places set up yet, so I had to do it outside on the step because of the dust. So my hands were freezing, so I had to basically do something fairly quick, is what I'm saying. So don't think this is a finished piece. I want to do the arms, I want to do a lot of detail on everywhere that I've started, and I did a little bit of work on the head, but not much. So I'd like to create, ideally, a bunch of them over time, each one different, and between painting, carving, staining, wood burning, inlaying, bead type of stuff, whatever. I'm not putting any limits on it, but I'm going to do this one first, and then I'll just see from there. Maybe that can become a new raffle fundraiser thing or something. I don't know yet. We'll see. For now, it's just the fun of creating. I always loved these things ever since I was young, being an artist, an aspiring artist, and I don't know, these kind of represented that feel good being a painter, drawer, wood carver. So for me, it's a great symbol. I don't know, and the fact that it's wood, rough, unwhatevered wood. It's just, I don't know. That's about it. That's why I feel good. What else can I say? I've just been monitoring my inner world. And for example, right now, oops, I keep closing this cord into the fridge. Ugh. So, you know how you could be feeling really amazing inside, even though outside is raining or something. Cloudy and raining, and you can feel amazing. Or it could be sunny and you could be feeling amazing because it's sunny, but if the sun goes down, you feel shitty. So, you know how there's kind of an inner world and the external world. If the inner world is wonderful and the external world is wonderful, then it's even better. And it seems to me that one of the aims is to create the inner world, generate it to a point where the outer world does not have the same effect on it. So you're not going like this. And I've been working on that for my lifetime, but especially since Raven passed, or during that time and then since she passed, I have been putting in so much work, and I recognize through experience, intense experience, how important it is to still those waters inside, in your gut, in your solar plexus, in your heart. So that's what I work on. That's what I maintain a fairly consistent awareness of, in and out. But for example, when I was over at Helena's car trying to work on that, I could tell that my inner self still hasn't settled from the holiday turmoil I was going through. But it's softened a lot. Like, I can get into a pretty good mood if I'm with friends and stuff, but there's something still mulling around inside me that hasn't fully settled from whatever got dug up for the holidays that I haven't processed yet. And so the stresses of the car being stuck and it being cold and I could feel myself getting a little bit wound up and stressed and having kind of subtle negative thoughts, like worrying about, oh fuck the freaking car. And then I would counsel myself. I could say to myself, okay, Damon, use this as an opportunity. Calm down for a minute and just still yourself and feel. Because these moments are the moments where the opportunity is. It's just that quite often we're not in a position to take that opportunity because we're wound up and triggered. So I was doing my best to just stay calm and see if there was an answer or a message or a secret, a clue, something that can elevate me to something a little bit more in the level of awareness. So one thing I've noticed is, like I said, my inner stuff that I've been processing is still kind of going through something. So when there was a challenge with the car, it was easy for me to start kind of downward spiraling a little bit. I could feel it, I noticed it, and I recognized that it was not necessary. And I, from that perspective, it was like, yeah, okay. So here there is a situation. This situation happens a million times in many different ways where I could be going towards a moody kind of self place, and but yet I'm recognizing it's so not necessary. And sometimes I wonder, it's like, why do we, anyone in this situation, like, what pulls us into these kind of negative places or moody places or self critical type of places? And I'm still waiting for it to open up more and more and give me more information, but it's one of the things that I'm really, really working on in tracking myself or stalking myself. I want to find out. I want to find out what's in there. I want to find out what's been living inside me, influencing my thoughts one way or another for my whole life. And at this point, I feel I'm on my own. I got myself to learn how to love. What a better time than now. And there is no better time than now when I've got this kind of solitude to use that to my favor, and hopefully to be able to go deeper, you know, clean out the old closet and put some nice lights in the corners and, you know, give it a nice freshening up. So these moments where it seems like shit's going on, they are actually opportunities, because they bring your stuff up, ideally where it's not so intense, obviously, like in this case, really, it's just a car sliding on a bit of ice and we're frustrated. The rest is all in the mind. The rest is all the mind going up and down and back and forth. So those are, in my opinion, the best times to take advantage of for your change. Now, you have your practices, people call it, whether it's meditation, Buddhist-based, or other Advaita, or just your own thing, in kind of an indigenous form of spirituality, or other, but you get my drift. You have your practice that you would ideally do when you're not being challenged, and that would be honing these tools so that when the challenge comes, your awareness stays. You don't get pulled into it so much that you're not aware, and ideally you've now got tools and you can work through it and gain awareness. So what I'm feeling is, and I'm working towards this as best I can, is where eventually you literally look, not, okay, I gotta watch how I say this, not that you encourage bad things to happen, but you look forward to the opportunity to turn it around. So when something is kind of, you catch it quick, there's not even a hesitation eventually, and you just deal. And then you show gratitude, which is the biggest transforming aspect of it, very alchemical. And it may not be in that moment, just from that one thing, that makes a big difference, but it's the accumulation over time, the cultivation. So that's an aspect, a large aspect of what I'm working on, and I'll let you know over time. Like I'm in the middle of a, well, literally in the middle of a forest, but I'm in the middle of an inner jungle, partly created by what's going on in the world and partly created by me, you know, because it's in me. You know, I can choose how I react to things, and how I react to things has a lot of effect over what comes next. So my reaction has a large effect on how things unfold. So I keep these in mind, and just tinkering with myself and my awareness over time. Now on the reality level, I am so excited about building my house. The idea of a place that is bit by bit put together from your own creative mind for your own needs, that becomes a personal extension, like a house as an extension of yourself. Anyone that's had their house built or built a house, they already know these things. I haven't. I've always dreamed about it, but I was always intimidated by it, and never thought it was doable. And it kind of isn't doable to some degree. I mean, you know, how much does it cost for a house nowadays for materials? Insane. And then you got to have all these permits, and every damn thing, they have a fee for it, gouge you, and then not that because things are so tough now, that they're going to loosen up on those things. Like, oh, okay, guys, you're having a hard time. We know it's difficult. We hate putting these rules on you, but because of that, we're going to kind of loosen our grip over here, and we're going to make it a little easier for you to build. We're going to loosen those laws, and we're going to just make considerations because we know you're going through such hard times, and we want to make life a little bit better. Like, that's what life is about, right? Well, no, that doesn't happen in most cases. So it's tough. It's difficult for most people. I'm trying to open up my tea here. But the heat swelled the lid, so I think it's going to have to stay there. Darn. Oh well. Yeah, I wish, people in authorities and stuff would just be able to, I mean, quite often they can't, but quite often they can. Just take it easy on people. They're going through hard times right now. And I think they should be cut a little slack. That's my thoughts. That's my 2 cents worth. For anyone out there that has thoughts, I'd love to hear them. I don't get a lot of thoughts. I don't know, maybe people are afraid to speak their mind, maybe. You don't have to throw in critical kind of thoughts that you're going to be attacked by or anything, but just reflective thoughts, like share, contribute something. I came to this planet to socialize and to share things and to bounce things back and forth and discuss stuff. And then I make a video and I may not get a single comment. So if you're listening to this and you feel like it, throw a comment out there. I just like to hear some humanity and not feel like I'm just in a goldfish bowl somewhere, and maybe it's my imagination that there are human beings around me. I don't know. I'm just being weird, but sometimes it feels that way, and I haven't figured that out. But what I do know is I have a very, very deep feeling of love for all of you, and that may sound weird. Some of you may say, well, you don't know me, so how do you feel that? Well, I do, and what I've been through has facilitated that. That's all I can say. So I do love you guys. I love people I don't even know, because in some sense you're all a part of me, I'm part of you, and we're individual at the same time. So I feel love for everyone, but I also intend, I don't want to go back, not that we can. I want to go forward, and I want to move forward into a very loving reality. Love conquers all, we've heard that before. Yeah, I've had enough with all the trappings and all the shortcomings of our reality, and I'm basically just not going to take it anymore, and I'm going to move forward with a positive energy and create for myself and anyone that wants to share. I'm going to create a world. I'm going to create a village. I'm going to create a retreat space where people can walk freely and love nature and connect, sit down on a little bench and let a little bird land on your finger, feeding it. I want a world here where there's good cheer and people sitting around a big fire and going and sitting in a sauna and rolling around in the snow. I want a world where people love each other and don't cut each other down. I want a world where people give each other their space and their privacy, their freedom. I want a world where people aren't stepping over people and feeling their way of perceiving things is more important than anyone else's. I know it's a lot to ask for, but That's what I want. I guess I'm here, like everyone, to make it happen. Sometimes I guess it's that entitlement thing where I feel like, why can't I just be there? Why am I wasting a lifetime in a reality that just seems so dismal sometimes? You know, how can we make it better? How can we contribute? You know, we're only here for a short time, but we continue through others, our children, our children's children, and so on. So let's just friggin' put our all into this last portion of our lives for our kids, kids, their kids, their kids. Let's be very vigilant and careful about what we do to our kids right now, with the awareness that that is going to last, and certain things are going to traumatize them and fuck them up forever. And I'm talking about what's going on. This is not responsible behavior on any part, and I know there's so many people that don't feel good about what they're doing, but and I can't say I have an answer, but we definitely need to work together. And I mean Muslims, Christians, Greeks, Canadians, Pakistanis, Filipinos, whatever, wherever you're from, whatever persuasion, gay, straight, Z, he, me, we, whatever kind of different consciousness being you are, we need to work together. I can't see any other way. We need to find some kind of common ground. Like, think about it. We are standing on the brink of extinction, or becoming our maximum potential. Like, we haven't come close to what we could be. And the idea of being snuffed out before we even have a glimpse of what our potential is just horrible. It's horrible. So I'm just inviting people to just contemplate the idea of what we could do differently. And in the meantime, let's just start working on communities, connections, links to make life better while this is going on. You know, like, gardens. I know that's happening. You know, growing your own food. You know, all the simple things that were once done, I find when I do one of them, it's very nurturing, and it feeds my heart. So that leads me to think, well, then maybe I'll do more of these simple things. Number one, they are a response to what's going on, like growing vegetables because they're too expensive, or, you know, chopping a bit of wood because it's too expensive to buy. But it just happens that they are all things that kind of were done once upon a time and then weren't done because we had better ways, supposedly. And I wonder if maybe we need to reassess everything and create kind of a hybrid of some of the old simple things. I really despise overcomplication. Like, someone's really hot on their idea and really it's a disaster because it breaks down so fast, and then you got to pay them for a new one or to fix it. Whereas, like, think about the tractors that still exist, still run, that were made in, like, I don't know, 1940 something, and they're still running. You know, so look at handmade toys compared to some of this plastic bullshit. You know, or these damn stupid blow-up inflatable lawn things that look just so commercial and so, I don't know, it has no soul, no nothing. It just looks like a fucking Costco display or something. I don't know, it doesn't lift my spirits. Anyways, it doesn't mean it might do for someone else, but it doesn't lift mine. I do love a lot of the lights that are coming out now, especially the little teeny ones and the flickers and things. I do find those uplifting. And I don't feel that the lights are contingent upon Christmas. I think just the idea of having these beautiful bright lights at the darkest time of the year, there's a message, unspoken message there right away. So I just want to contribute as much joy and cheer to this world as I can. And see, I'm an artist and I have creative ideas. I am already doing it, but that is my intent, is to go overboard as much as I can, whatever I can do to contribute to people's well-being, to cheer them up, to identify people that are having hard times, and helping wherever I can. So thank you so much for listening. Any of you that have endured the whole talk, you are brave. You are a brave soul. And I'm going to let you go now. I'm warmed up. Feels much better. And then I'm going to go to my womb very soon and drink my tea and listen to some music before bed. So, love you guys. Stay real. Be sane. And just remember that you are loved, and this will be over soon.